Hey guys, welcome back to another maths tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be explaining how to do polynomial division. So, polynomial division is basically a way of, like it suggests, dividing a polynomial, so something like x squared plus 5x plus 6, and we can divide it by another polynomial. So, let's just say we had something like x plus 3. So, obviously, with regular division, you can just do things like 10 over 2, and this is just going to be this number divided by this number, which is going to give you 5, because 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we can do a similar thing with polynomial division, and it all comes down to using the bus stop method. So if you didn't know, bus stop method is basically when you sort of create something like looks like a bus stop, and you just put a number in here. And you basically just go along and try to see how many times it works. So 2 goes into 10 5 times, so it wasn't very productive there, but then again, this is a pretty easy calculation. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that with a few examples today. So let's bring this over here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, as you know, with bus stop division, what we got to do is we got to make sure the denominator is on the left. So let's just put that here. And the numerator over here is on the right or inside of the bus stop. So we'll just put that like so. And then we can just get started. So the first thing we need to do when we're performing polynomial long division is we literally only want to look at the first term of each polynomial. So in this case, we're looking for the coefficient in this spot, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this first term and the second term, or the first term of each polynomial, and we literally just want to put in a coefficient here, which is going to multiply by this to produce this, okay? That's all we're looking for. So that, in our case, is going to be x, because x multiplied by this x is then going to give us x squared, of course. And then once we've got this, we can then multiply and distribute it to both. So take this, so we get x squared here, and then we multiply, distribute that, we get plus 3x. And then we carry on. So from here, we do regular polynomial division stuff. So we're going to subtract this, and you can see why we then matched up both these, because now these are going to cancel out. So we get 0 here, and when you subtract these two, you're going to get 2x. And then again, like regular polynomial division, we bring this next term down over there. So it becomes plus 6 here. And we literally just do the same thing to get this coefficient. So we're looking for, again, at this x term and this 2x term here. So what multiplied by x gives you 2x? Well, obviously, the answer is just going to be 2, right? Because 2 multiplied by x gives you 2x, and then they're going to cancel out. So we can write out and distribute this here. So now distribute to both terms. You get 2x plus 6. And look at that. Well, you actually get, they actually both cancel out. So 2x minus 2x is 0. 6 minus 6 is 0. So the ultimate thing is 0. And if you know how this works in long division, you'll know that this final number is just a remainder. So we can actually just write this has a remainder of 0. And what this tells you is, go back to the original question, x squared plus 5x plus 6 over x plus 3. And that tells you that this is equal to x plus 2 with remainder 0, which means it's a perfect divisor. So that means these two multiply to give the original thing. And you can see how this has just enabled us to factorize this polynomial into these two terms. And obviously, if you were trying to solve this, like set this equal to 0, then now you can easily find the other term like so. Now, if you know this, if you realize this is a linear factor, then you might want to use synthetic division. I've already done a video on that, but it's much faster than doing this specifically for the linear terms. But that's all right. I'm just going to be showing you guys an example. So now I'll do a slightly trickier example. let's do something like a cubic. So we'll have x cubed have plus or minus 7x plus 6, and let's just say we want to divide this by x minus 1. Okay, so let's just put like so. Okay, so let's do the same thing, but one thing you need to be aware of is when you're doing polynomial division, if you write our denominator in the left side and numerator in the right side, you need to make sure that you have all of the terms. So even in this case, even though this doesn't have an x squared term, we need to rewrite this such that it actually does have it. So this is actually going to turn into x cubed plus 0x squared, because we need to make sure we have all of them. Otherwise it will just become a bit complicated. So we need to make sure we have all the terms in the polynomial. And once you've got that, we can then just write this out like so. And then we just do the same old polynomial division tricks. So let's look at the first term of each polynomial. So x and x cubed. What times x gives you x cubed? Well, that's going to be x squared. And distribute like so. So you get this. Now we're going to subtract. So these two cancel out. Oh, sorry. This should be a 3. So these two are going to cancel out like so. And you're going to be left with 0 minus x squared, which is just x squared. Carry down the minus 1/7. And now we have our next term. So again, let's look at the first term of each. We have x and x squared. So what times x gives you x squared? Well, it's going to be simply x. And we'll distribute again. So x squared and minus x. And hopefully it makes sense why you need to have all the polynomial terms, because you can see as we go down, we're just subtracting. We're just going down in the order of polynomials. So that's why we need all of them, even if this term is 0. So now let's subtract this. This is going to be minus 7x minus x, which is going to be minus 6. And then bring this down. So we get plus 6. And now for the final time, we're just going to get, check this. So minus 6x and still x. So what times x gives you minus 6x? Well, that's going to be multiplying by minus 6. So actually, I'll just put it like this, so it's a bit clearer. So we're going to be multiplying by minus 6, like so. And you'll see when we distribute these two, this becomes minus 6x, and then minus 6 times minus 1, that is plus 6. And now you see we get these two, they cancel out completely, and we're left with a remainder 0. So again, this shows us that with a 0 remainder, this shows it's a perfect factor. So x cubed minus 7x plus 6 over x minus 1 is equal to x squared minus x minus 6. Is that correct? Sorry, x squared plus 6. And if you can just factor that quickly, you can just know that's just x plus 3 and x minus 2. Like so. So this gives you 2 more solutions nice and quickly. So there we go. That's how you do polynomial division. And I'll just do a brief explanation of this remainder term. So if this remainder, let me just write here, if r is not equal to 0, then that's just going to be, let's just do this as an example, even if this was wrong. So if this was instead come out to something like 5, so you get r equal to 5, like so, then what that just means is you're just going to, remember this is the divisor, so it's going to be whatever this is plus 5 over the divisor, so 5 over x minus 1, like so, which is why when it's 0, this whole term cancels out. But yeah, that's just what the R term does. It's actually quite useful later on when you get slightly different questions, not just asking you for basic polynomial division. But yeah, thanks for watching, and that was how you do polynomial division. See you guys in a future tutorial. Bye.